So about 6 months ago, Eric Hansen from 33 Machine approached us with an idea for a Factory 5818 project car that he wanted to build electric. We thought this would be a great idea for a project car and do essentially one of our first just ground up electric builds. We've recently completed the car, and after doing some testing around the facilities here, we decided to take it up to the track and see what we could do with it.
For instrumentation, I'm going to take a cue from Tesla and basically put a 10-inch tablet as the center console so that I have all my interactive functions, as well as some of the battery readout, GPS, stereo. Everything will be controlled by that centralized tablet. So I'm looking for a real futuristic application of this car, not just a conversion of an older car into electric. This is something that is moving forward from the very beginning.
We really put a lot of time and energy into modeling this car up right. It's the first EV project where we start to finish actually put the car into SolidWorks and did CAD/CAM modeling so we could get the center of gravity really low in the car and also really central between the axles. So we actually improved upon the handling characteristics of the car. Well, that was great. We had a total blast at the track today. The car just handled spectacular. The low center of gravity was incredible. We're at about 1,700 pounds on the car. We're going to add the bodywork to it, and we'll probably still be just a touch under 2,000 pounds. I think that wraps it up for us. I'm Michael Breen with EV West, and thank you for watching.
So I'm taking my electric car, my Nissan Leaf, to my parents' house, which is 200 miles away from Heartland. And I'm going to be taking my wife with me, and it's going to take a little bit of work to plan that out because my car, as far as I've ever gone with it, is about 105 miles on one charge. And since it's 200 miles, I need to charge at least once, and I would say it's going to be at least twice, because when you go 105 miles, it's not on the freeway, it's on, country roads and city streets, because the car gets better mileage on city streets versus the freeway. I think the optimum speed efficiency wise is about 40 miles an hour. So it's going to be a long drive, but it'll be a challenge at the same time, which is good and bad, I guess. So what I need to do here is to show you what the route would look like with a gasoline powered vehicle. And it would be almost entirely on I-94, which is a 65 mile per hour freeway. With just the very end, there's a couple miles that would be just off the freeway. And in a gasoline powered vehicle, that entire drive would be just about 3 hours, maybe a little bit less. This map is from plugshare.com, and Plugshare is a website and a mobile app that shows all of the public charging stations. Blue charging stations are at homes that people opted to add to the map. Green stations are public and run at 220 volt, and the orange ones are public stations that run at 480 volt, and those orange ones are the quick chargers. So you can see in this map that Chicago is the area at the west side of southern Lake Michigan, and then Milwaukee is the cluster of charging stations to the north. And what I just wanted to show you here is that how an electric car is really handy in urban areas because there's so many charging stations. But once you get out into a rural area, there are slim to none as far as chargers. You can see west of Chicago and Rockford, there's virtually no charging stations at all. So let me flip over to the map of Wisconsin now. And you'll see Milwaukee's in the lower right-hand corner. Madison is a little further to the west or to the left. And then my parents up northwest of there at the red dot. So you can see that after Madison, the charging stations drop off dramatically, and there's really not that many options. So if I animate the map here, you'll see the route that I hope to take with my electric car. I'm going to take 94 all the way to Madison. That's a pretty easy shot. I'm going to stop at the quick charger in Madison and then take back roads from there so I can get better mileage. Stop at the Glenville Timber Rights in Baraboo. And then if I need to, I can stop at one of the stations in Wisconsin Dells on the way up to my parents. And then from there, it's quite a long shot all the way to my parents at the red dot. And you can see in Mauston, there's a quick charger, which is an orange. Unfortunately, I can't use that charger because it's a Tesla charger, which is a proprietary connection and only works with Tesla cars. So even though it's in the exact spot that I could really use a charger and it's right by the freeway, I can't use it. I simply have to just drive past it. So that's unfortunate. So I'm going to have to call the Glenville Timber Rights in Baraboo and a couple other places just to see if I can use their charger, just to verify everything.
Cool. Yeah, because we're thinking about bringing my car and making the strategic drive up there because I'll have to charge at least twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And how long does it take to charge? A couple hours, doesn't it?
Well, it depends on where I stop. If it's a quick charger, which there's one in Madison, then it's about 45 minutes probably. But the next stop in the Dells would be about 4 hours probably, 3-4 hours.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. But I kind of want to try it. Be an adventure. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Well, then from the Dells, you still need something, don't you?
Yeah, I need to plan it out yet because it's, roughly 100 miles probably from there.
Yeah. Mhm.
Maybe a little bit, maybe 105 or so. So that's about as far as I can go. And that's not on freeways. That's on side roads. So I'll have to charge somewhere else for a little while.
Yeah, right. Like Toma or someplace that's like 3/4 of the way.
Right.
Check the casino.
I know.
Charge it for 4 hours.
Yeah, really.
That wouldn't be a bad place to sit and wait for it to charge.
Yeah. 4 hours goes by in no time then.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like, oh man, 4 hours already. We gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to go. It's
Right.
only 4:00 in the morning. Oh, kids. Yeah, cool. Yeah, but I mean, what happens if you don't make it and all of a sudden you're pulled over on the freeway with no electricity?
Well, then you got to call the tow truck and have them
Tow you to
tow
a
you
place.
somewhere. Yeah.
Bucks Crossing.
Hi, my name is Jeff, and I have a couple questions about your NEMA 1450 outlet that you have available there.
A what now?
You have a outlet that's available for charging electric vehicles?
For charging? I'm not understanding what you're asking me yet.
For charging electric cars?
I don't have that.
Okay. From what I understood from a website is that it says that you've got one of the 14-50 outlets, which are used
No,
for...
not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Huh. All right. I know that's the outlet used for the RVs. Is that true?
They're 50 amp or 30 amp.
Right. Right. Okay.
They're
But
plug-ins, that we have in our pedestals.
oh, because you have people that stay there?
Right.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's the type of outlet I'm looking for. So what would it take to, rent that for a little while, or how would that work?
I don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to help you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, bye. So apparently since I'm not an RV, he doesn't want to have any interest in letting me plug in, which I'd be willing to do for a fee. But apparently he's not, so doesn't sound like that one's going to be an option.
Good afternoon, Glenville Timberrights.
Hi, my name is Jeff, and it sounds like you have a charger for electric vehicles?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I'd be interested in using that tomorrow night. Now, I don't know if I'd be able to use it after you're closed or not.
Well, normally we lock it up after hours, but I suppose, how long do you need it? Or
Well, it all kind of depends on my other stations I'm stopping at. But I would guess it would probably be around 6 or 7 p.m. So
Okay.
maybe around 7.
Okay. Well, we can just leave it. Yeah. Okay. We can just leave it out. It's we've got it in a lockbox on the side of the building, and
Okay.
then so you should be able to plug in. So
Okay.
yeah, no problem.
Okay, that would be great. I guess my other option I could throw out there is I have my own level 2 charger I could bring with me, but I would need like the 220 outlet.
Oh yeah, no, we don't have one of those.
Okay.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine. We'll leave it out there.
Okay, well that would be great because there's really nothing in between Madison and the Dells that I found.
No, I know it. I know it.
I-
That's why we put it in here. Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I wish I could stop in while you're open and check out your architecture.
Yeah. What kind of car you got?
I got the Leaf, the Nissan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I can optimally I can probably go up to about 105 miles is about the most.
Yeah. You can get that much?
Well, if I don't use the heat or
Oh yeah.
if I go on back roads, freeway
Yeah.
obviously takes a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I've got a Focus.
Oh, great.
Electric. Yeah.
Do you like it?
Really like it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Good. And
Yeah.
can you go about 80 miles or so, or is it more?
Yeah. Well, it was up to 88 yesterday or day before on the warm day. It depends. God, I've never done a test. Actually, like to run it completely out to see how many miles that I get.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know if I want to do that.
right. It's not like you can bring gas to your vehicle. You have to,
Yeah. Right.
you have to
Right.
take care. But I've been really close to being out. I know I've had it where the percentage on the battery goes to 0 and the meter for miles, but I haven't run out yet. In my car, I don't know if yours has the same thing, but it'll actually go into kind of a lockdown where you have to drive. It drives really slow and it has barely any power. But I haven't experienced that yet, so I know I have a little bit of juice left at least.
I've never gone below. I think the lowest I got was like, it was under 10%. I believe it was down around 4%, something like that.
Okay.
So no, I don't know if there's like a reserve there or not. I just use mine for driving back and forth to work, so I haven't been too concerned about it.
Right.
But I don't know. One of these days it'd be kind of fun to take a ride with it. But I don't know if my wife is that adventurous or not.
Right. Luckily, mine is. This will be an experience. I've only gone. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say twice now. I've gone outside of range. We went down to Chicago once, and then we got a little more adventurous. About a month ago, we went to Indiana, just a little ways into Indiana, and
good for you. That's cool.
Yeah, but it's much easier going that direction because you have Chicago, and there's a few quick chargers, and there's a lot of level 2 ones. Yeah. So, but going north, it's a lot different.
Yeah, I know it. I don't think there's anything. Boy, once you get there's one in Boston, but I believe that's a Tesla.
Right. Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, that's about all I can think of.
My last resort would be to go to a campground because they have, 50 amp circuits there, and I actually had my brother make me an adapter for the L630 connector to the 1450. So I could, in theory, plug into any RV slot, and actually shot an email to one of the people at the DNR today to see if they'd be willing to let me stop. I'm just, getting all my ducks in a row in case I get stranded.
Like at a state park or something?
Right, exactly, yeah. Even if I had to rent the site for the night, which is probably only $20, I could at least fall back on that if I had to, but we'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
So when you go on these trips, you plan on, it's going to take you a while, huh? Because you got to plan on your charging time.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And what's your name?
My name is Les.
Les. Okay, I'm Jeff. So, well, I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And then maybe one day when you're open, I'll stop in. I can show you the Leaf.
That'd be great. Yeah, we'll show you some timber frames.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot, Les.
You bet.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that one much better. I think it helps that there's a EV owner that I just talked to. Definitely knows what he's talking about. Is more apt to let me charge. Compared to the RV resort or sales place that I called the Bucks Crossing. So, all right. Well, at least I have one option. It's set in stone, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be occupied because no one really knows about it, and it's supposedly locked after hours anyways. So I think I'm good to go. We're going to do a little more research, and I'll be back. Here we go. It is 5:25 p.m. So we just got our start. It's 5:36 now, and we're on the freeway going 62 miles an hour on a 65 mile an hour freeway. Lower the speed, better the mileage, of course. So this is the first leg, and we're going to be going on the freeway the entire way. It's about 53 miles, I think. And this is probably going to be the least stressful because I know we can make it there and there's a quick charger waiting for us, which is the 480 volt DC charger, which should get us to 80% within 30 minutes or less. And then I don't know, I'll have to figure out if we'll want to charge 100% or not, but we probably will just for safety's sake. And that'll probably take an hour or so total. So we're heading straight west, and of course there's a pretty strong west wind, so that'll affect us a little bit, but not too bad, I don't think. And I don't expect to pass any cars. We haven't yet, and I'm sure we won't. I can't tell yet if the charger's open, so that's our next gamble, but we'll find out here in a second. I don't see any cars, I don't think. It's open. We'll have to see if it's working. All right, so I just need to scan my card if I remember. Accepted, you are allowed to access this charger. That's the first step. Press start button. This is a big plug here, because this is a 480 volt DC power, so this is major power. You don't see very many of these. I think there's only a couple in the state of Wisconsin. It's actually hard to get these things in. There we go. Okay. Now, I don't think it's detecting the charger yet. Press the start button. Oh, now it's working. I don't know what happened, if it timed out or what. Yeah, you can see on the dash there that it's charging, and that's kind of a 3-light meter. So the first one on the left, if that's lit, it means it's somewhat charged, and then the second one's blinking, so it's, you know, roughly a third to 2/3 charged. And then once it gets to that third light, it'll be about 2/3 minimum charged. So yeah, we're at 28%, and we'll check back. We're already at 29%, so this thing flies. So we'll check back in a little bit and see how it's going. So I just wanted to show you my app here, my phone app, to show you that I can communicate with my car. And this is Nissan's official app. So with this app, I can check charging status, check the level of my battery, and I can start charging, stop charging from here. I can also turn on climate control, turn it off. I can set a timer for climate control, and that's really about it. But before you do anything, it's not a real-time communication. I need to kind of send a request, and then I get a response. So I just need to send a request for an update, and that usually takes less than a minute. Okay, it's been updated, so now you can see we're at 49 miles remaining on our battery, and that when we got here, we were at 28%, I think. So that's about it. Okay, so charging is complete. It doesn't say how long it took, but it's 7:20, so it wasn't very long. There we go. That's it. On to the next stop. So we left the first stop in Madison a little while ago. It's 7:41 now, and GPS had me going a couple crazy directions, but only charged us a mile or so. But we're back on track and we're down to 87%, and we'll definitely have plenty of juice to get to the next stop, because that's only 43.5 minus a few now, so about 40 miles. And getting dark out. This road is definitely not the freeway. It was 40 miles an hour, now it's up to 55, so that's not too bad. It won't affect us too bad. And we just have to hope the charging station at the Glenville Timberites is going to work out fine. It should. Talked to the guy again today. So we'll put all our eggs in that basket. I do have a plan B if we need to, but it's a little further down the road. So that is it for now. Okay, so it's 8:36. We're just coming up on the second charge stop, which is the, forget the first word, the Timberite, something Timberites. And we're at 45%. So I knew this wouldn't be that far of a distance. It was 43.5 miles. But again, this is the one I called on earlier, and it should be all unlocked for me. They usually lock it up at night, but they're going to leave it unlocked for me this weekend, so that's awesome. And I just wanted to say as well that one of the reasons I chose this trip this time of year versus winter is because heat and air conditioning takes so much extra power to use that we would be freezing to death if this was winter, because the next stop for sure we'll have to not use any heat, because that's going to be a dicey situation. Okay, so here's the timber place. I just gotta find where the charger is. I think he said it was by the main parking lot. Here it is. Yeah, looks like this is it. Piece of cake. So yeah, apparently they usually lock up that cord in there. So, all right, let's charge it up. All right, let's see if this works here. Lots of cord. Oh, they put the charger inside. That's really smart. That way the charger is protected. They don't have to buy a waterproof or water resistant charger, and nobody can steal it. So I'll plug it in, see if we get some blue lights on the dash. There we go. We're charging. Now it's time to find some dinner. So we're at the Timberites. We're just about done charging. We're at 93% probably right now. It's just after midnight now, so we've been on the road for 6.5 hours. In a normal car, the whole trip would take 3, so definitely much longer already. We stopped and had dinner, or took a walk and had dinner. It was about 1.5 miles away. And we took a little nap here for half hour while it charged a little more, starting to get cold out, so we're gonna get on the move. We're gonna try to stop at there's a campground on the way that should have charging abilities. It's about 70 miles, so we'll try that one, and worst case we can go to the next one down the road. It's a little further, so we're gonna give that a shot and see what happens. Alright, so I found a charger. I just gotta put together the cable. It's an adapter. So this end should plug in to this wall outlet over here. I just hope that it's turned on. We'll soon find out. Forgot to pop this. That's not good. Not turned on. Crap. And the breaker's on here. So that means it's probably turned off at the head. I don't have it in all the way.
Next to it.
There we go. Still nothing.
Is there anything not connected here?
No. It's all connected.
Is there any switch?
No. This only fits one way. It beeped the one time. So I'm sure it's working. Or, you know.
And that would be lit up already.
Right. They've had
It's
power.
not working.
Well, I could try the 110 just to see if that works.
Sure. Just plug in anything.
Oh, yeah, I could do that too. I could just get a phone plug. Alright. Nothing. So they must turn them off centrally somehow. That sucks. All right, there goes that idea. Okay, so a little update here since our failed stop at an undisclosed private campground that had the service shut off to the power pole. We stopped at a gas station just down the street to go to research Plan B, and we just plugged in at the gas station on the 110 outlet for, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. Gave us like an extra mile as we looked at our map, and figured we'd go to Plan B, which is to a state campground. And I previously researched it, and they do have the 14-50 outlets, which are used for RVs. It's a 220 outlet or 208 volt, one of the two. So we drove over there, and about 40 miles an hour, trying to use as little power as possible. And we're lucky we did that because our meter went to 0 on the miles remaining, and then the battery percentage meter, once that gets to 7% or so, it goes to 0 as well. Well, it just blanks out. It doesn't really say 0. And I think that's to tell you that it's probably not 100% accurate anymore at that point. And I've seen that before a couple times. So we were basically running on fumes, and we got pretty close to the campground, and I've read about this. I never experienced this until just now, but the car went into a self-activated power saving mode, which pretty much shuts down a lot of the power, and you can only go so fast, and it disables, traction control, things like that. So we're probably a quarter mile from the entrance to the campground when that happened. So we roll into the campground, and since it's 2:30 in the morning, there's nobody around, luckily. On the way here, we researched for electric sites, and we found out that they're lower numbered ones. So luckily, the first spot we saw was campsite number 2. It said electric, so we wheeled the car in there, and long story short, we're charging at 200 volts right now and 50 amps, and last I checked, we're at 2 miles now on the meter, so we're gonna take a little nap. What is it now? 2:40 a.m. So as you can see, it's a little bit of daylight out. We finished charging at the campground. Well, we got up to about 55%, I think it was. And we only had to go 20 more miles to get to my parents. So we wanted to get a little extra because of the fiasco the time before. So we had a little nap, and it got down to 28 degrees, but we didn't get busted for squattering at somebody's campsite. Well, it wasn't taken, but we didn't officially rent it out. But we're about here. It's 228 miles total, and we're at 14% battery right now. All right, so it is now Sunday night. We spent the day at my parents', and that went well, and charged at their house on the 110 outlet. It took probably 20 hours or so, but we got it all charged up. Left at 1:30 on Sunday afternoon. No, 12:30 Sunday afternoon. And I thought it would go much easier just because we left there on a full charge, just the way the stops would work out. So I didn't even intend on recording anything, but I'll sum it up now. So we stopped at the same state park that we went to on the way up, the last stop on the way up. So it was first stop on the way down. We were at about 65% when we got there. So we charged up, and it took a couple hours. We were there. It was chilly, but 45, so it wasn't terrible. And I researched a little bit while we were waiting for it to charge. And I wanted to charge at the place in the Dells, the Sandrift Resort, which we haven't stopped at yet. And I noticed on the PlugShare website that they had an updated note in there saying that the 1450 charge port is out for a week because they're doing some upgrades on their system. So pretty much ruled that stop out. So then the fallback to that is to go to Baraboo, which is where we stopped on the way up. But that's pretty much exactly at the farthest range I could go. So I knew we had to go to 100% charge at the state park. So we did that, and that's why it took a while, even from 65% charge to get to 100. So we did that and drove slow. I drove about 43 miles per hour on a 55 mile an hour road. Totally sidetracked the freeway. Didn't turn the headlights on, which I normally have on during the day anyways, just for safety's sake. But left the lights off and didn't even turn the radio on, just because I knew it would be a stretch. And long story short, we got about 2.5 miles from our charging stop in Baraboo, and we went down to the lockdown mode where we were pretty much out of power while we were going up a steep hill, again about 2.5 miles from our destination. So I literally pulled in the first driveway I saw after that lockdown mode went on, and it was a house, and I saw a couple lights on, so I was hoping somebody was home. Knocked on the door, guy answered, Don his name is. I explained the situation to him. He was pretty humble and let me charge outside of his garage on the 110 outlet. And we stayed there for, I think it was about an hour, probably an hour and 10 minutes. And when we left his house, we were still at 0% battery and 0% on miles, just because we're on the 110 outlet and it takes so long to charge. So I knew it was going to be tight just to get that last 2.5 miles to Baraboo, our charge station there at the Woodwright place. So it was literally pretty much all downhill to get there, so we lucked out. We snuck in and we charged, and we walked the 1.5 miles to the local restaurant again, and we had dinner there, spent about 3 hours, and we just got back. We walked back in the rain 1.5 miles and just got back in the car. We're at 55%, so we should be good enough to get to Madison now, and that's where the quick charger is, and after that we should be able to go home within an hour or so. So it's probably about 2.5 hours yet. So we'll be home 1 or 2 a.m. hopefully. So it's been a long day, almost as long as the way up, which I didn't expect. So it's unfortunate, but we'll make it.
I'm Cheryl Taylor.
My name is Jeffrey Bird.
I'm Robbie.
My name is Ted Kuntz.
I have a Ford Focus electric car.
I own a Smart ED electric drive.
The car I drive is a Nissan Leaf.
We have a Tesla Model S.
I fell in love the minute I sat in it.
I've already done over 10,000 kilometers because I love it so much. So I drive it whenever I can.
Just love it.
You know, we look for excuses to drive the car now.
The way the car handles and the performance of the vehicle has been excellent.
Driving an electric car is, it's better than I ever imagined.
The power and fun of driving an electric car is amazing.
It's like driving on the wind.
The quiet performance of it.
It's smooth and silent, and I love the whoosh of the instant acceleration.
It is so superior to an internal combustion experience.
If you were thinking about buying an electric car, take the test drive.
I mean, really, the driving experience is fantastic. I just love being in my car. And as soon as you put your foot down and you zoom off, you're going to love it as well.
Because it is so quiet and so smooth.
It's surprising how quickly you get used to the grace and the ease of the electric vehicle.
It's tempting to get off the line and just give her and see the look on the face in the rear view mirror. So.
I really was looking for something that was going to be economical to drive.
I'm free from the gas station.
I really hate paying the money for the gas.
Realized I was spending probably in the neighborhood of $4,000 a year on gasoline.
It cost me almost nothing to drive wherever I want.
For per kilometer to go from point A to point B.
So next time you have a coffee, think about that. Your caffeine for the day could drive you for a week.
Helping with climate change to make this planet better for my grandchildren.
That weight of not contributing to the pollution on the planet is gone.
My children certainly notice that the car doesn't smell.
This is my gift to my grandchild, is to behave in ways that will make this world more sustainable.
The value of the Viva membership really is the connections and the support network.
So I looked up Viva and I contacted them saying, what would you advise? And they were extremely helpful.
My point in becoming a member of Viva is that I want to encourage the work that they're doing, because I think electric vehicles is really important for the future of this planet.
The range anxiety is greatly exaggerated.
How many times have you run out of gas? Well, usually the answer is never. And why not? Well, there's a gas gauge and you pay attention. Well, it's the same with electric vehicle.
I plug in my iPhone, my iPad, and my electric car at night, and they're all ready for me to go the next morning, and that's all I need.
So I charge it at home, just like I charge up my telephone.
That looks after all my daily driving.
So many electric charging stations out there.
I've driven from Vancouver to Chilliwack on one charge.
I have to say I've even taken it up to Whistler.
All it does is take 1 or 2 trips. You know what the vehicle is capable of, and you don't think about it any longer. Once you sit in that car and once you feel the experience of driving an electric vehicle, it's very hard to go back to an internal combustion engine.
They're just a lot of fun and they surprise people.
But what really drives me are the driving experience and the low costs.
Much more enjoyable driving experience, making a contribution to making the world a better place. It's just the right thing to do.
I would never go back.